So what I'm thinking about now is history, and I'm thinking specifically about how we often look back on history and how times were in England at a certain time in the past, let's say 1800 or whatever, and we look at that time from our perspective now, and we see lots of issues and lots of problems, and we are very critical of how times were back then, and we're so glad that things are better now and things are improved. So we have a negative view of how things were in the past in the main. And specifically, there can be particular events in history that people point out and say it was a really awful time. So what I'm wondering now is how will people in 100 years' time, when they look back on how things are now for us, will they have the same view of us the way we have when we look back at the year 1800 or whatever? We see lots of negatives about those times. And so I'm thinking people in 100 years' time will look back on how I'm living now and see my life as being awful and miserable, and they would hate to be living the way I'm living. So what I'm wondering is what is going on now in society that would make someone in 100 years look back on how I'm living now and really not want to live in my time and feel sorry for me. So I'm wondering how things will improve so much that they would look back on me and feel sorry for me that I'm living a very difficult, awful life. So I'm trying to imagine what kind of things would be so different in 100 years' time that would make them think I'm living a hard life. So I haven't been able to come up with things yet, but I'm wondering what those things are that will improve, that will make people in 100 years' time feel sorry for me and how I'm having to live. So I think it's interesting to wonder what will change.